It's another day. Time to make another deposit. Time to sacrifice more. But never forget that you're honored by your sacrifices. The more you can sacrifice, the bigger your sacrifice, the bigger the honor. To be strong enough to make a large sacrifice is an honor for the right things. Yes, it is. Here we go. We will all be known, not known, recognized, counted righteous or unrighteous. We will all be known by what it is we're able to sacrifice, or what it is we don't sacrifice. It all comes to fruition. It all comes to haunt you, or it comes to validate you sooner or later. And that's why we gotta live this way and get after it. Gotta be a good steward. It's that time again. Everybody wants to act like they're on the level until it's time to get out here and do what's necessary to really be on that level. I'm telling you, man, the sacrifices you're able to make are the key to who you're able to become. The weaker versions you can sacrifice on a daily basis of yourself, those end up turning out to be your glory. The phoenix needs the fire, right? And so the art of laying yourself on the altar of progress in the middle of a faithful battle, a battle that requires faith in order to be more. You see the world from the place you're at, you realize you'll never be able to get there. That's why this process is necessary, to make you strong enough to get there by the grace of God. That's the hero of your story, right? The hero of everything you're trying to do and become and give to the world. You've got to become acquainted with and become comfortable with the darkness. You've got to become strong enough to take in the darkness, to be in the darkness, and strong enough to be in the chaos of darkness, but be strong enough to bring light into that darkness, as in, because you're there, because as a warrior you exist there. There's order there. There's safety there. There's everything you provide because you're formidable and strong enough to make sure that those provisions are there. And that's what the warrior does in the world. And that's why we must be acquainted with darkness. You've got to be able to overcome the chaos inside of yourself and get yourself out of bed and control your body and control your time and control your life before you can even play that game, you know what I'm saying? That's the game you're playing. You're just losing unconsciously or winning deliberately. It's just what's happening. Your feelings are like misbehaving children, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's worried about how they feel. Feelings are for kids, you know what I'm saying? A man who can't control his body will never really be successful because he's mentally weak. And this is why you gotta be able to fight. You gotta be able to be a warrior inside before you can ever become a warrior on the outside. I mean, you make cool videos on Instagram, but there's a distinct difference. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who's been there can see it. Excuses are for people that need a way out. How are you gonna be strong enough, become strong enough not to need a way out while you're making excuses? You know what I'm saying? In order to be the man, you gotta become the man. In order to be the man, you gotta be the man every single day. His destiny is determined the moment he makes a decision. But whether he gets there or not will have everything to do with his level of commitment, with his ability to commit. And that's what this game is all about. Seed time harvest. Everybody can plant the seed, but we all die in the valley of time. And so no one reaps the harvest of this game, you know. There ain't no, I feel like it, I don't feel like it. There ain't no light switch on this. This is commitment. Those of you who've been following me for years have seen the trajectory, the results of commitment. And I'm just the man in the ring. I just want to do this so you start to really think carefully and seriously about what it is you can do. You're trying to be a better version of yourself? Shoot, you even just trying to compete with me and you're in bed right now? You need to have a conversation with yourself. You need to ask yourself why you ain't going hard. Like my man, hip hop preacher says, you owe yourself an explanation as to why you're not giving everything you got, as to why you're choosing the path of weakness. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you gotta wake up at 4 a.m. like me. I'm just saying, if you ain't giving it everything you got, if you're not laying down at the end of the day and sitting there and feeling that feeling of righteousness, of I'm in right standing with myself and my God and everybody and my clients and people depending on me, because whether they realize it or not, I'm giving them everything I got. You know what I'm saying? Whether they realize it or not, I'm giving them everything I got, and I got more and give more. There's always more, but there's a certain feeling you'll have when you know you're laying it all out there. And if you're not doing that, I would project, I'd postulate, I'd hypothesize that on a very deep level, you're probably suffering. Your identity is suffering. And there's a deep battle going on inside of you having to do with your personal value, whether you're realizing it or not, because you're not exercising that value, you're not keeping it in front of you, and you're not increasing it on a daily basis. There's two sides to the truth that follows that realization. It's deep. The only real inner psychic peace, validation, and high quality experience comes from knowing you're doing the work. Most everything else is false. It's like sin. It's like eating dessert. It's a false sense of things. The weight brings you back to reality. 45 pounds, always 45 pounds. 315 is 315. Reality creation brings you back to reality. You build a boat, you put it in the water and it sinks and nobody cares. You learn, I gotta build a better boat, you know what I'm saying? This is the path that makes you powerful and potent inside of reality so that you can actually do something of value for good. These days, like, I don't even see failure, you know what I mean? Like, I'm out here just trying to do my best. I fall down and people are like, oh my gosh, you failed. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, why are you guys staring at me? Like, I'm learning. That's all I'm doing. I'm learning in front of you. And after a while, you start to realize, like, yo, you need every single failure you can get in order to become more accurate. We are trying to influence and bend reality by the grace of God, using the tools we've been given to do that with. And in order to become more dynamic in bending reality, you need to understand it, which means you need to get out there and learn from reality. It's like a relationship. You need to learn where the commonalities are. You need to learn the person in order to be able to influence effectively. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. When you really get on the path, you start to be like, these losses are so necessary to build you into the person you need to be in order to become the man, you know what I mean? So sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, and you're never a failure until you actually quit. Until you quit. It's just a lesson, unless you let that lesson change your name. We won't be judged by how much money we made or any of those things. We'll be judged by how much we gave and however many lives we were able to positively impact. You died 2 deaths, 1 physical and 1 death of your contribution and influence the last time someone says your name on this planet. Then you're dead forever. The death of your contribution. That's the one that I think is really important. Hard workout. Now, more pressure. Learn to deal with the pressure. You'll learn to deal with life a lot better.